Hello everybody and welcome back to City Skylines, where I've been messing around a little bit with these ramps here. I'm not entirely satisfied with this. I've redone this section a little bit. You can see there's still a little bit of breakage in the texture over here, so I'm not 100% satisfied with that just yet. Let's see what we can do if we bring this in out over this way. You can see I've added in a turn lane out over here, but I'm wondering if maybe we bring this back a little bit. That makes it more broken, if anything. Okay. But if it comes out over here, that actually kind of works. Okay. That's very narrow, and it undershoots our turn lane here. So we'd want to have it be something a bit more like that. Okay. We can definitely do something along those lines. So from there, I would like to add in a bit of a turn lane out over here and a bit of a turn lane over here as well. I don't know that it needs to be altogether this long. We can probably have this section remove their turn lane for a moment anyway. And we can take a look at, yeah, this is going to be just generally uneven up over here. Okay, that's fine, I guess. We could also make this a little longer. I wonder if we turned off snap to existing geometry. Okay, yeah, that doesn't really do what I want it to do. Noted. Absolutely noted there. The other thing that I don't really like about this is the place that the turn lane went in. This is better. Yes, that is substantially better there. Okay. So that's absolutely fine for the moment. This is an improvement-ish. I'm going to try removing this section here and doing this one again, though, real quick here. So we just bring this up and over here-ish. Yeah, the more that we do that... Okay. Noted. So this would really need to be like here, right? So it would need to come up and over like this. But not quite that far. Where would this need to go to relatively match this angle? About here. That creates that texture issue that I had mentioned previously. But we can do something about like that. And then see about bringing this guy out. Like up over here, right? And then bringing it in over this way. I mean, we definitely do run into a little bit of a texture issue there. I don't like the texture issues. So let's try this again. So we bring this out, and we would need to set this. That's like a pillar clipping through. Yeah, that's a pillar clipping through, I think. Okay, so if we were to bring this out over this way, right? As a hypothetical, and it would need to be up here. As a hypothetical, we bring it in something like this. That's invalid shape, slope too steep. It lets us do it here. But then we can see here, the pillar is clipping through. Oh, that's because we're losing a lot of height here. Okay. In that case, we absolutely need to extend this highway this direction without losing that height. That would be helpful. So let's bring this out like that. We still lose a lot of height. That is, of course, due to the terrain here. So let's just level out the terrain. So let's use the level terrain tool, and let's just get that as close as we can to the city limits, about like that. And then we'll bring this on in. So from this angle here, we bring it out to about here. That's now only a 2% grade, but it is giving us an invalid shape now. What if we bring it in from this direction? It's perfect. Okay. Sure. Bringing it in from this direction is somehow different. I don't know how, but okay. We'll allow it. So now we've got these turn lanes over here, right? And we don't have anything similar over this way. We'll add in turn lanes if we feel like it's necessary. As of right now, I don't. What I do want to do, though, is I want to get started working on these areas over here in terms of terraforming. So I want to use the slope terrain tool, and I want to take this down to maybe around 50 in size. And we'll just bring this right on out here, creating a nice slope. I want to set that as our target height. Okay. And we'll just do something like that. We'll need to update the target height periodically as we go through here, just to make sure that this continually falls off, right? As our street height changes. We just want to make sure that it falls off about like that. Okay, so that gives us a lot of outflow, right? In theory. That's the idea, is that there's just a whole lot of outflow there. And I want to just have this be kind of the finalized shoreline here. Okay, this didn't exactly do what I wanted it to do. So that means we need to change the height there. Okay. So we can just go through over here something like this, right? I wish we could have it be set to like the water height. That would be very nice, but unfortunately we can't. And so when we have significant changes, then we're going to have some issues there. No doubt about that. But something about like this should do. Yeah, this definitely creates issues. Okay. Noted. We don't really want this situation going on here. I think we'll just leave this be and let this water flow out. That is flowing out very quickly indeed. Okay. Cool. Well, we're definitely happy that that water is flowing out there. We'll let that out. Do we have any other water issues on this side still? This was destroyed by flooding. Is it still flooded under there? I mean, we do have some height issues over here, right? This is kind of very much a location where water would like to pool up. So I would like to soften some of this terrain out over here. That would likely end up meaning that we need to bulldoze these objects here. Like, everything in these blocks, for the time being, would need to get removed. And then we can do the same thing out over here for the time being. Something kind of like that. Okay, now we're going to use the Soften Terrain tool, but I want to bring this back up in size. And we'll just soften this terrain on out over here. Now, over here is going to need some additional bulldozing as well. So we can just do something kind of like that. Then we can soften this terrain out a bit. And maybe get these roads rerun as well as the terrain gets softened. But for now, we'll just call this good. It's good-ish. I do think that these roads should be rerun, though. So we're going to rerun Chester Street here for sure. That means that Woodland Highway is going to have that on-ramp rerun. Okay. So we'll take Chester Street up to about there. Then we'll use the Soften tool. Get that all softened out nicely. We should also get these sections of road out of here for the moment. And then soften this out. And then redo those sections of road. So that'll be okay. I do want to take this probably up to here, which means bulldozing everything in here for the time being, including these houses. And then we'll soften that all out as well. Okay, so something approximately like this. These areas are probably still going to need to be redone. Yeah, probably. We can get this out of here for the time being. And then we can just rerun up to about here or so, would be the idea. So then that will, of course, mean bulldozing quite a lot of houses over this way. That one's got to go, and these have to go as well.
My dear.
Okay, so something along the lines of that. These are going to have to go. Okay, so that's going to be a pretty hefty amount of rerunning road, right? So let's use the curve tool here. Let's hop over to the 2-lane road. And I want to bring this guy... Actually, hang on. That was not curve tool, for one thing. But what I really want to do here is smooth out this terrain first.
Thank you for the honor.
Okay.
But
So
I
something
digest.
along the lines of this
Professor
will do.
Hornbuckle, as a traveler,
And
from
we've got
my
this
homeland-
nonsense going on again.
Housing short.
Okay, there we go. Back to music. Phenomenal. So let's just get this smoothed out for the moment, about like so. That'll do. We're starting to run into issues out over here, so I'm going to use the level terrain tool, and we're just going to bring that up through there, and then we're going to soften in the back without softening the front of this. Okay. Something about like that will do. Cool. Now using the curve tool, we're going to bring this guy down to around here. And then bringing it down to around here. That's definitely hitting a pretty big drop off here. Absolutely huge drop off, in fact. Why is this so far below ground? I don't actually want this to be below ground. Ah, that would do it. Okay, so we're going to need to get rid of this section of highway for the moment. We can redo this section of highway soon enough. We're going to want to redo that one anyway, probably. It had quite a slope to it. No doubt about that. So we can just bring this out and over to here. And then bring this guy about down to here or so. And then just continue to travel along this boundary line. Okay, now we're starting to go significantly downhill here. So, taking a look at that. Oh, yeah. That's because of this location. Gotcha. So now I'd want to bring this guy over and around, about like that. It getting a little bit of a bridge there is not the worst thing in the world. We would bring it out over here or so, and then have it come out like that. I want this to go up a little bit here. So I think we need to bring this out over... That's 180 there. So we need to bring this up to about here. Now we're hitting a pillar issue here, I think. No, I think this highway is just a little too low. That's fine, honestly. We can take these sections of highway out. In addition, this roundabout, and just get this redone. That's unsurprising that that needs to happen. So we're going to bring this over like so. This could certainly use some smoothing right here. So actually, I'm going to... Yeah, this is going to need the level terrain tool at about this height here. And we just push that out like that. Then we soften it up here. About like that. Okay, that'll do for the moment. Now we can continue to bring this road on through. However, this section of highway is going to need to be redone as well. The height of these has significantly changed. So this is unsurprising that this needs to be done. We can leave that be, and then just connect this section of road up over here. So that's going to come up about like that, and then about like this, and then in like that. I don't really like the way that this connects over here. I'm going to redo this section. In fact, I'm going to take this out. And we're just going to bring this guy over to about here or so. And then just curve it up kind of like that. Okay, so that'll do for now. Now we can get our cross streets. So this road here needs to go this direction and just connect directly in like that. I don't really love the elevation of this area out here, actually. So let's take that out of there. And let's use the level terrain tool. And just bring this general area up to about there. There we go. That looks okay for what we're going for here anyway. And I want this guy to be about here. About there-ish. Yeah, about there-ish. Okay, we connect that in. Perfect. Now, I don't love what we've got going on there. We can take that out temporarily. use the Soften Terrain tool to smooth that out ever so slightly. I also don't really love what we've got going on here. I'm going to use the Level Terrain tool and just shoot that out to there, and then soften it up here. Okay, so something about like that. This is going to be a pretty extensive project. I didn't realize it was going to be quite this extensive when I embarked on it. But sure, something about like that. Now, this is eventually going to need a crossroad going this direction, isn't it? So where would that end up being? Hypothetically, that would end up being here. Okay. So that guy needs to come up straight like that, right? And then gets connected in down here. Apparently we missed this road previously, so it's kind of a good thing that we've got this going on. This road would come in here. This might run into a pillar issue. It is actually fine. Cool. We'll allow it, and we'll just come on down over this way. That's giving slope too steep. Fair enough. I'm going to take out this section of highway. We'll just redo those. And then this section of street we'll redo as well. I want to use the Smooth Terrain tool. And we'll just soften out this terrain. Okay, something about like that. Next, this road is going to come straight on down, as before. Right about here. Cool. We've got some altitude issues here, though. So we're going to need to remove these guys that don't have road access anymore. There's also a pipe underground here that is not currently connected. Let's take that out of here. And let's put in the pipe connection again. So we're going to go for a combined pipe, and that's going to just pop on over here. Invalid shape. I guess it'll go there. That's fine. Waiting for a hearse. Hilarious. Okay, so next up, I think that these are going to end up having to go because of the height difference. And then we can, of course, soften out that terrain a bit. There we go. That'll do. And this road, of course, is just going to come straight on down like so. Now, we've still got a bit of an issue over here. You can see by this fencing that we're not actually going to have any building squares here. So I do want to try this again now that we have reduced the smoothness, or rather increased the smoothness over here. That's better. That's definitely better. Okay, so that'll do. Next up, there's this road here, which should connect here, but that slope too steep. I would also like it to connect over here, but that's also going to be slope too steep. Okay, let's take this section out for the moment. We can definitely use the Smooth Terrain tool out over here and just smooth that out a little bit. Okay, we've got a little bit of water right here, which is, you know, mildly awkward, no doubt about that. But let's use the curve tool and just bring this guy right on in over here. Yeah, it very much wants to do that. Okay. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this guy up this way. Actually, you know what we could do? We could just use the curve tool. We've done this before. I don't love the way that this results in things, but we could use the curve tool and come out here, and then use the curve tool here and come out this direction. That is giving us that in water, so we'll probably have to come back to this, or just let this flow out. One or the other. But there's also this situation up here. I'm going to use the level terrain tool here, the level terrain tool, to get rid of that for the moment. Okay. Now, I'm going to use the level terrain tool here as well, and we're going to try to ditch this. That's intriguing that we can't actually move this. Huh. Let's try it at 100% strength. Yeah, it doesn't want to move that. Okay, well, it will act as a bit of a dam for us, so that's fine, I guess. We can see that the water level here is rising. We may want to lower this a little bit. We'll see what that ends up looking like. But I want to get this task over here that we started completed. And there's also, you know, a bit of an issue over here, all things considered. So let's get rid of this section of street for the time being, and I'm going to use the Soften Terrain tool. And we're going to make this grade be just a wee bit better here for a potential road. Now I want to use the Level Terrain tool here, and we'll just bring that on out. In fact, we could redo this whole block if we wanted to, but I kind of don't. I just want to do something more like this. Okay, we're going to have to wait to rebuild this until the water flows out, but we have had a significant amount of success in that water flow so far. So that's looking good. Next up, let's bring in these highways, I think. We have all of our cross streets built, right? Not this one. We've missed this one. Okay. Let's get that done. And then we need one out over here as well. So that guy goes in theory, right about here. Okay, that looks good. We also missed one out over here. Oh, we never actually built this because of the water here. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But we can come back to that. And that one needs to get built. And there needs to be a cross street down here at some point as well. So I'm going to do that over here. We're going to bring this down to be, in theory, about here. Okay. So that needs to come through over this direction, right? About like that. Yeah, there definitely needs to be a street here. No doubt about it. So then this would come in over here, connecting, in theory, there. Yes. That is approximately correct, which is the best kind of correct. And we are, of course, going, well, I mean, you know, they say technically correct is the best kind of correct, but I like approximately correct. Okay. We're going to head out this direction now, right? And that's going to be some altitude issues. No doubt about it. There's some altitude issues here, actually, as well. So this area should be brought back as well. And we'll just start here. So, first things first, off of Curve Tool. We need to come out this direction and just link it up right here. That gives overlapping items due to the pillar, but we can actually drop it here.
You're listening to Second Moon.
That's invalid shape. That's just overlapping items. This is not perfectly straight, but it'll do. Okay. So next up, we're going to bring this guy down about as straight as we can. There we go. And now we've got some potential issues out over here, but we can just connect this in right like that. And that is better. Now, with that built, can we do anything here? No, we can't. Okay, so that is what it is. Got it. That's fine. This road over here didn't get rebuilt. We should definitely do that. That'll be about here. There we go. Of course, we're going to have to slap in our roundabout here. That's giving slope too steep off over this direction. Fair enough, actually.
As a traveler,
although it's not letting me bulldoze this one part at a time. There we go. So we need to soften out this terrain here. No doubt about that.
There now, my good fellow.
Now we can put in the roundabout. There we go. This guy can shut up. There we go. You can too.
And on to our main...
So much for music nonstop. Okay, so we are going to try to build this in now. Let's see how this goes. That gives overlapping items. Okay, so let's snap this only to angle right now. We're going to drop a pillar here. And then we're going to look to bring this in. It's definitely a little bit off here, but I think it's good enough. Yeah. So we're going to need to get this pipe connected up to something. No doubt about that. And let's go underground here. There we go. And this pipe is going to simply connect up over here. Okay. So now that's connected. That looks reasonably fine. We're going to need some on-off ramps over here, but I think what we need to do at this moment is get this highway put in. So, to that end, we would bring this up in elevation to 10 meters. We would want to turn snapping back on, and then this guy would just position here, in theory. In theory. Yeah, seems reasonably fine. I mean, the angling isn't, I think, perfect, but it'll do. It's close enough. Next up, oh, we don't need a street here. I'm very dumb. This is a highway. Okay, we need to get rid of this street because this is intended to be a highway. Sure. It is, however, time to put a cut in here. Like I said, this was a bigger project than I anticipated it would be. But this clearly does need to be redone a bit here, so we're going to work on getting that done in the next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.